Mark Foley.
So as you know, I went to Sedona this weekend, the lady and I, little romantic getaway per se.
I've heard about Sedona. I mean, Sedona, it sounds romantic,
It is.
but
It was
like I've
nice.
never been there. Like I've been all over Arizona, but I don't know where Sedona is.
It's about it's about 90 minutes ish north of Phoenix.
All
It's
right.
like this old like Native American town type setting, so it's very
Right.
spiritual and all that kind of
Mhm.
nonsense. And like you have all these shops you can go to. It's a very beautiful place, like great vistas everywhere, very much unlike most of the things you can see in the Phoenix area. I mean, it's Phoenix
Mhm.
has its own beauty, you know what I mean? It's not like, in
Right.
my opinion, like the Northwest or someplace that's like lush and green. But if you start
Mhm.
getting up to the Sedona area, there's some green, there's these like cool painted mountain kind of desert scapes, and it's awesome. Great hiking, good food, tourist-y to a point, but kind of old, kind of an old town feel to it.
Right.
But it was cool, man. Just went up for Saturday, Sunday, stayed the night at a resort. It was a pretty nice resort, and went hiking twice. My legs were numb. Like we hiked for like 3-4 miles each day. It was pretty ridiculous, but it was a good time, man. It was a good time. I would recommend it for anybody listening, or for you yourself if you're ever interested.
Well, I'm close to there,
That's right.
but at the same time, like Utah has the same shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a similar landscape. I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. By
Yeah.
the way, have you been to the Grand Canyon before? I had some party we were walking by while we were hiking, and they kept mentioning how we need to go to the Grand Canyon. I've never been, so I was wondering if it's pretty cool or not.
I went to the Grand Canyon when I was like 8 because my grandparents decided because they made a lot of money. They were like, "We're gonna go live in Arizona in the winter, and fuck you, Connecticut people." And so like that every winter they left, and then like my dad, being his son, it was on his side, was like, "Oh, we have to go out there and show them that we can go out there." And so I used to go, like, and it was Tucson. They live in Tucson. We used to go out every fucking year, and I loved it. I loved the desert. But what I didn't realize about it was I loved the desert in like the winter break, like between like Christmas and New Year's for school. And I was like, this is awesome. So when I moved to Utah, I was like, yeah, the desert's great. And then I moved out here and it's like fucking 1,000 degrees.
Well, the
But
good
I,
news
but
is
I,
right at the back end of it, though, Pete. We have about 1 month left, and it's going to be
I,
amazing.
I hope I make this month. I'm right there. It's just like, if like there's one more degree, I'm just going to fall off of
You're going to
life.
melt.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is, Pete, we have a lot of good games to play this month, so we should be inside
Holy
as
shit.
much as
Yes.
possible.
Yes. Yes.
We got Metal Gear Solid. We've got, for you at least, and maybe me, Destiny. I know Mad Max came out.
Platinum.
Haven't checked it out, but I know it's out.
Yeah. I
Forza's coming out. There's a lot
Yeah.
going on this month.
There is. There is.
And even some Madden residual from last month.
Yeah. I mean, like, no one can even start their online league yet because, like, the Madden developers were like, don't do it yet because it's broken and we're going to fix it. And if you have one going, it will break that.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. It's like,
That's
oh,
nice.
great. Yeah. Like, I just bought your game, started a league with my friends, and now you're telling me that that league's going to break.
That is amazing. It's
yeah.
funny that the devs actually came out and just flat out said it, because typically it's kind of one of those things where you're essentially starting something at your own risk within that first week.
Yep.
But for them to just flat out say it will be broken if you guys start one, that's refreshing and kind of annoying at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Pete, I know that at some point I will be getting Madden. I'm not sure yet if I will be purchasing it.
You have to get it because we're going to have a league.
I know, exactly. So what I want to do is I want to finish up Until Dawn, which we also didn't mention.
Holy
In
shit,
our
yeah.
opening there.
So
I want to
fun.
finish that, and I want to get that back to GameFly, and then the next game I'll be getting will be Madden. So
no, you can't GameFly Madden.
Why not?
Madden is a commitment. If you're going to join this league, we're talking 2, 3, 4 seasons. We're talking drafts. We're talking trades. We're talking like it has to keep going.
I can have a game for multiple months, Pete. I have 2 games coming from GameFly. I had The Witcher for like 3 months, so I'm in for that. I'm going to dig my heels in, and we'll be there for the long haul.
No, I have done GameFly before. GameFly is so much easier to walk away from. Like right now, and we'll talk about this game, but like Metal Gear Solid 5, like I am loving. But like when I had GameFly, if I was playing this game and then I was like, oh no, I'm on this mission and I just got killed. Okay, it's going back in the mail. Fuck them.
You're that fickle, huh? They're just that quick, just boom.
Yeah, you can't do that if you're going to be in a Madden league. You have to own the game. You have to possess it, and it has to be a part of you. Okay.
You have convinced me, Pete. You have convinced me.
It's fucking good.
I'll figure it out. But like I said, the good news is we got 1 month of hot weather, and that month is going to be filled with a lot of video game time indoors.
Yes. I can't wait.
Starting with, let's just dive in. Actually, let's start first with Until Dawn. We'll go there.
That was first.
So let's get your take on Until Dawn at this point. Just so you know, I'm about 3/4 of the way through it. I'm definitely not going to spoil anything for anybody as I go into what I'm going to talk about.
I'm not going to spoil either.
But I'm
just going to generally talk about it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pete. You're up first.
So I had no interest in the game. I was at PSX last year, like in Vegas, because they were like, hey, PlayStation MVPs will pay for your shit. And I was like, okay, well, I live close enough to drive, so cool. So I was there and I watched and that was one of the highlights of the conference. The low light being the Final Fantasy VII troll. But where it was like, we're gonna play Until Dawn off of the crowd's votes. And it was like, hit B, no, or not B, it's hit square, hit X, hit whatever. And it was actually fun. Like in the crowd, I was like, that looks really fun. And then after I left, I was like, I don't know. I think that's a game that is just going to like appeal to sort of crowds like that, but like playing that game, it just looks like, just like, hey, hit this button wherever. So I had no interest in it. My share buddy bought it, and so all of a sudden it was on my PlayStation. And I was like, all right. So I decided to stream it. And I was like, I'm going to stream this. Let's see how it is. And I was hooked after like 3 or 4 minutes. Because like in the first 3 or 4 minutes, there were people that I liked and there were people that I hated. And it's totally a B movie horror. So I knew that they all had the chance to die. So I was like, all right, and then everything started branching off, and that got me even more into it. I was like, all right, I make this decision, this happens over here, and I make this decision, this happens over here. This is fucking great. Like, I hate that motherfucker. Let's fucking throw him into a chainsaw or something, I got kind of evil, a little bit evil as I was playing it. And then like sometimes the games flip shit on me. It's like, I want to kill that guy. And then the game was like, no, fuck you, we're gonna kill the person you didn't choose. And I was like, fuck. Like, I really, really am loving this game. It looks great. It plays great. The story, like I don't know. I mean, I hate all of the characters, but I feel like I'm supposed to, or not all of them, but most of them. What do you think?
I actually echo essentially what you just said. I wasn't, I'll put it this way. It was something I was looking forward to checking out, but by no means did I A, expect it to be as good as it is, or B, expect to want to play it right away. Like I thought I would check it out at some point, but I did like the fact that it was a bit of a refreshing type idea, right? It was much more of just an interactive movie, which we've seen with The Walking Dead and you know, Heavy Rain and some of those types of games. So I'm not saying they're like making this new genre out of it.
Right.
But it was exciting.
So many games lately have been open world.
Right.
So like this game being sort of like going down a story path that branches is actually revolutionary because everything else is like, we're open world.
Yeah, no, and that's another good point, right? It kind of gave me the same sense of when The Order came out.
Yeah.
Now, The Order was different because The Order wasn't marketed as that type of game, but yet it ended up being that way. Although I actually liked it more than most people. But,
I did too.
But I understood why people hated it, and I respect that because it definitely had its things. And it was marketed as an action game, but ended up being more of like a game that like Until Dawn is. But Until Dawn, we've pretty much known that this is what the experience is going to be from day one. Mm-hmm. They haven't hid from it. They've been promoting it that way, and it actually has looked cool. Every time they've shown it, it's looked better and better and better. But you always knew that you knew there was going to be people that just wouldn't care because it wasn't a quote unquote game that they would be playing. Right. Now, going into it, that's kind of what I was expecting, and I've actually loved the whole thing so far. Like it's been awesome to play through. As you were saying, it's a B horror flick. It doesn't shy away from that. But it ends up having kind of the same tropes and the same, like I had the same reaction to the game that I would be if I was watching a movie and did not have a controller in my hand. I'm yelling at people to stop doing stupid shit. I'm like, laughing, or like people say something and I'm like, really, bro? Like you actually just said that, or you actually just did that. Yep. But it's cool because most of the time I'm forgetting that I'm actually like, it's not a movie, it is a game. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes it so great is you are basically playing a horror movie.
Right. And with that, like it depends how old you are, but like horror movies, like when I grew up and like just for whatever, like if people don't know, I'm 38 years old. So like in the mid to late 80s, there was a bunch of like B horror movies like this that always teased nudity, and it never happened. And it was like, and this fucking game does the same thing. Like what's her name? Hayden Panettiere? Is it Panty? I don't think Panty is part of her name.
We'll just go with that.
Yeah. Like she's sitting, like she gets in the tub and like her breasts are floating above, but you can't see the nipple because the nipple is the evil part. And I'm like, just someone scare her out so I could I feel like a fucking like 13-year-old again. I'm like, show me boobs. And it's a fucking video game. They're fucking polygons. Like, I don't know why I care like that. But that's what this game does. It preys on like your base instincts. There's scare jumps. There's let me see your boobs. There's like psychological shit with that doctor who's like talking to whoever, because I'm guessing you figure that out at the end of the game. I'm not there yet. There's a lot of like just sort of you're walking and then you see like the scary guy behind you, but he doesn't attack. Like there's all of that stuff. But like I don't know if I'm crazy. I mean, let me know if I'm crazy, but like did you want to see the boobs?
Well, I think just my male instincts always want to see boobs. Like, I don't care how cute or ugly the chick is. Right. I, of course, want to see boobs. You know why? Because I haven't seen her set of boobs yet.
Yeah.
Whether they're digital or whether they're real.
New. Yeah.
But I think you bring up a good point, right? Like, while you're playing the game, you get absorbed in it. Like it very easily, you just kind of lose focus on what's happening, and you get so droned in on like what's on the screen, what's happening next. There's jump scares. There's been multiple times where I've been playing the game, and just so the setting is kind of understand people like that are watching and listening. Every time I played the game, my lights have been off and my headphones have been on. Like I've been like giving my best effort to enjoy it. And there's been multiple times where I've literally like jumped and screamed and then felt like a complete asshole afterwards because it happened. Or like my hair on my arms stood up because there was just like a really crazy noise that happened or some really creepy shit was going on. Yeah. Or even some like gory where I was looking away from the screen moments a few times, like very much kind of your Saw type stuff where I was just like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see that shit.
Right.
I know it's a polygon, but you have this like attachment to the characters, whether you love or you hate them. And you brought up the other point, like you end up hating most of them, but some of them have a little bit of a charm where you kind of start choosing who you like and who you don't.
Exactly.
And then you'll end up having
2 of the 6 or 8. I don't know how many are there, but yeah, like I think there's 2 right now where I'm like, I want these 2 to live.
Yeah. And but you end up doing like, you have the same type of mentality when you watch a horror movie. You have the people that you want to die. You have the people that you want to live. You have the people that you want to get naked, whatever. Right. Like that's the same type of emotional attachment or like the type of mentality that you have while playing Until Dawn. And I think that alone shows just how great of a job that they did with this game. Yeah, because as you said, the production is amazing. The voice acting is great. I mean, it's good to a point. Obviously, it's delivering what it's supposed to deliver. It's still that B horror vibe, but it's done really well. The characters are written very well, in my opinion. They're different enough, but they're relatable, and they're also like you end up voting for one or voting against them. Like that's kind of how it works. Like there's the bitchy chick, there's the hot chick, there's the nerdy guy, there's the sporty kind of popular guy. Like they hit all the different angles perfectly. And the fact that you can essentially mold what is going to happen, whether you try to do it or don't try to do it. Like I was hitting most of the quick time stuff, and I'm about 3/4 the way through the game, I would guess, based off of what's going on.
Yeah, I think I'm about there also, but
I finally missed a quick time event, and the character I was using at the time died because of it. I was like, shit. Well, I guess I picked the wrong quick time event to fail. But I was wondering when that happened, Pete, like how many other times I saved somebody's life and I didn't even realize it.
That's the thing that puts this game over the top. I mean, it's pretty much like a Telltale like adventure. I mean, we get to walk around a little bit more and like interact with objects more. But it's like a Telltale game. It's like, you know, like fucking Game of Thrones or whatever they're doing at this point in time, the Borderlands one. But there's like 4,000 ways that it splits off. So it's like you think to yourself like, oh, it's early on. And like you go into it, like if you played the Telltale games, you go into it thinking like, well, this early nothing's bad's gonna happen. So I'm gonna take this weird angle for fun. Right. And all of a sudden, like, oh, that girl's dead. And you're like, fuck, dude. Like, this game is, like, as much as it's a B movie, it's also, like, really tightly constructed in a way that, like, will fuck with you. Like, like when you make decisions, even minor decisions, it changes the whole game. And they try to tell you that, like there's the whole butterfly effect, there's the whole status effect, and they try to tell you like over and over again, like your decisions matter, and you're like, yeah, no, I've heard that a million times in games, whatever. But like then you're like, okay, yeah, no, like. Oh, this girl's like laughing up here, and I'm like, no, yeah, I don't care. Oh wait, she just died. Yeah, it's just like it's almost mean in a way, but at the same time, that's what makes it great. You know, is that like it's that intense. Yeah, and it's what's really cool about it is, like you said, in my opinion, I think it's probably a little more linear than they lead on. But the fact that there is so much branching that happens, the fact that you can have everybody live or everybody die, just that alone makes it awesome.
because you realize that as you go through the game, no matter what you end up doing, it could possibly lead to somebody living or dying, and you know that.
Yes.
Now, in regards to some of the things that I guess some of the little negatives that I have are, first off, I don't like how it does tell you about the butterfly effect stuff as it's happening.
Yeah.
I would rather just assume everything I'm doing is making an effect on something. Whether it is or it isn't, that's fine. There can be like a placebo effect on most of it if that's the case. But the fact that it just tells you like, boom, butterfly effect, like I think that I would almost rather have that be a toggle. You know what I mean? Like I don't really want to know. It's cool that it's there and you can go review it. But
that, like at the beginning of the game, like, oh, there's going to be a butterfly effect, and then never talked about it again.
Yes.
So then you'd be wondering, like, every decision, was that a butterfly effect? Or was it not? Like, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, there's also been a couple of times too that kind of pulled me out of it where, for instance, and I'll just say this, the very first like 5 minutes of the game, where you're Hayden Panettiere's character, Hayden Panny, as you said. Yeah. I think her name's Sam in the game. And so I like walk up to this door and I like hit the button to open it, and she grabs the door and she's like locked. She like grabs it and it's like, oh, it's locked. And then like 3 seconds later, I walk over, I meet up with one of the other characters. There's this little scene that happens. And then we go back around the backside of this building, and then we come back to the front of it and we go to use the door again. And she grabs the door again and grabs it and she shakes it and she goes, oh, it's locked. And I was like, well, no, fuck it is. You just knew that 5 minutes ago.
Right.
So like there was like these little tiny things that happen. And again, these are very minute, subtle things. Like they kind of pulled me out and went like, okay, well, that is something that was a little bit of an oversight.
Right.
Like I already checked that door and it's locked. She already said that it's locked and knew that. And then she came back and said the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, very small gripes. Because overall, my experience with the game has been amazing and outstanding. And I honestly would recommend it to anybody. I think it's a perfect spouse/significant other game.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect game to play with your girlfriend or boyfriend or anybody else that maybe isn't quite into gaming, but like maybe is just interacting and interested in watching you play. Like she could grab the controller and she could play through the game and be just fine. Just like the Walking Dead games, just like the Borderland games, all that stuff. I think it hits that demographic perfect. I think it's great for Twitch. I mean, it's a perfect Twitch streaming game,
I mean,
especially
that's what I've been doing,
especially with interacting.
Yeah.
So you won't be able to interact as much just because of the fact that like some of them are too fast for them to react to it in the chat. Mm-hmm. But you can leave it up to the chat. Like I think it would be an awesome like chat. Let's let the chat decide what happens next type thing. Because that would just be amazing.
Yeah.
And then my only other thing too, and I won't know this until I play through it again, but I'm curious to see how the experience is the second time. Because I'm really, really liking how the story is unfolding. It's very, it's enticing me to want to play it more because I'm actually really curious as to what is going on, and it's slowly like unfolding as I go through it. And as I said, I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, so I kind of know most of the stuff. There's already been a few twists that have been pretty cool. There's already been a couple moments where I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I wasn't expecting that to happen. And so far it's been really, really cool. But I'm just wondering once I get all the way done and I know end game. How is that second playthrough going to be, other than the fact that I know it's going to be a little bit different because I'll end up choosing different stuff on purpose. But I wonder just how fruitful that's actually going to be and how valuable my second playthrough would be when I go through and do that.
From what I've heard, and I can't say this firsthand because like you, I haven't finished it yet, but there's like what I've heard is like many people who have finished it and they compared their stories and their endings, they've been very different.
Interesting.
So like, I hope that's true. I mean, like we're living in an age right now where like maybe the person who said that on such and such message board was hired by that company, you know, like it's hard to know if any of that shit is true, but it seems like it. I mean, it branches so much that I would think that you could get pretty different stories. I mean, because it is like a Telltale game, and it's made by a studio that hasn't made great games in the past. Like they worked on like Move games that were all right. But they spent like 3.5 years on this. So like that to me, like I don't trust them as a developer from their past work But the fact that they spent so much time on this makes me think that the branching paths actually matter.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, honestly, with the fact that it's out and we have it in our hands, like if you're even on the fence about getting it, I would just say get it because it's awesome. I mean, I've enjoyed it a lot. Obviously, the reviews have been way higher than we were expecting, and I agree with all of it. I think it's great. I mean, understand what you're buying, though. That's the thing. Understand what you're getting. It's a B horror movie type setting, type setup. You're going to hate and love some of the characters, but you're going to have a chance to kill the ones you don't like and whatever. Yeah. But you're really going to get absorbed in it. And especially in my opinion, I think the first playthrough is going to be a ton of fun. It has been for me, and I don't see why that would be different for anybody else. I just wonder longevity wise, like replay wise, where that is, and I don't know that answer yet.
Yeah, I don't either, but I think the second will be because you'll do the opposite. Because I think at the very least there'll be 2 very different endings. So it's like, I'm going to play it this way, and then you finish and you're like, I'm going to do the opposite. Like, you'll get 2. Like the fact that there might be 8 or 40 or 60 or whatever, I don't really believe that, but I do believe that there will at least be 2 endings if you play the game completely differently.
I'm also looking forward to getting to the end just so I can understand all the clues and shit that you come across, because I'm curious to see how much of the I'm one of those people that I love when they throw little subtle hints in movies that literally like tell you certain things, but you just don't know about it yet. Right. And then when you rewatch it, you're like, holy fuck, like 10 minutes into the movie, they basically told you what was going on and you didn't know what you were listening for. You know what I mean? Like I love when games do that. I love when movies do that. And so what I'm curious about, and just to kind of tie the whole package in, is to how these clues actually play into the end game and what's actually unfolding. There's already been a few that I've noticed. And so I'm really curious to see how that all happens as you go through it. And as it all wraps it up. But again, had a lot of fun with the game. I would recommend it to anybody, at least play the game. And again, it's only about 8 to 10 hours, which is refreshing as hell in what we're,
exactly.
Always open world games. Yeah, if you need to rent it or GameFly it or Redbox it, it's absolutely worth a weekend playthrough.
Definitely. I mean, we don't work for Sony. We don't care if you buy it, but rent it, whatever, just enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's actually supposed to be $40 this week at Best Buy or in the next week. So be sure you check that out if you're on the fence. If 60 is too much, I understand 60, but I think for $30-$40, probably a no-brainer. A no-brainer to play through it.
I have no problems with it at 60, though, to be honest, it wasn't my 60. But like
No, and I agree with that too. It's a good enough game that warrants a buy and a playthrough. Right. It's really well done.
All right. So today I got my platinum in Destiny.
You did.
Finally.
Congrats.
Finally. Yeah. I mean, like, this is not like a topic really. This is just me sort of like masturbating on the podcast. Okay. But like I played this game 400, 500 hours, did not pay attention to the trophies because I knew there was one trophy that seemed unattainable, which was I forget the fucking name of it. Basically, do a raid without anyone in your raid dying. So we decided, and we being the people on the Dodd Scientific forums, which are going to open up a bit soon. So stay tuned to that. But we decided we're going to go for that, and we did it. We played Crotazen normal. I think we did it on like the 5th or 6th try. It took a good few hours. And then it happened, and I was like, woo! And then I looked at my trophy thing, and I was like, okay, so I still have to find 50 ghosts, and I still have to get 20 salvage. And salvage is a PvP mode that only comes up once every 3 weeks. So I was like, fuck. Okay. And so I got the ghosts, And then Salvage came up this week, and I have now platinum Destiny.
How does that feel, Pete? That's like a year in the making, my friend.
I mean, like, it's a weird feeling because Destiny is very much like an MMO where you're like, you work for months and months and months like on a boss, and then you finally beat it. I mean, that's not true of Destiny, but that's true of like other MMOs. Finally beat it, and you're like, that's great. And like Destiny is easier, so it's like, all right, here's the first boss, and like we already read the strat online, and he's now dead. But then, out of like all of a sudden, it's like platinum. I used to love getting platinums. I have not gotten a platinum since like I think MotorStorm 3, which wasn't even called 3, it was MotorStorm Crazy Winds and Rains. But it felt fucking great. I was so excited.
Was it like Pacific Rift or something? What was that called?
Pacific Rift was twice. The second one. The third one was MotorStorm
Apocalypse.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Because there was that one on the roof where all the buildings fell down.
I just remember them pushing it back because of the Japanese earthquake.
Right.
And they pushed it back.
And the game,
it was a earthquake, wasn't it? Yeah.
That game tanked so hard. So bad.
And then we got Drive Club, so that's awesome.
Right.
Well, that's cool, Pete. I'm glad. I just recently got the platinum for Rocket League, which is my second ever platinum, and my first one was Infamous Second Son, which I got last year. So and you got to be close, I'd imagine, right? You just need the 500K, don't you?
No, I got it. I got
you
that
did?
Also. Yeah.
You have two platinums then.
Let me tell you a secret.
Go ahead.
Because I had every other fucking trophy in the game except for 500K.
What did you do? Did you like rubber band your fucking controller and go to bed?
I might have done.
That's amazing.
And when I woke up, it might not have been done. So I might have redone it when I went to work.
Oh, that's amazing.
And when I got home from work, platinum.
You had it. Platinum. Nicely done. 2 in 1 week then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I worked hard on both of them. Like, I deserve like a lot of respect, I feel like.
I would say so.
Yeah.
We should talk more about that one and less about the Destiny one, I think. Just based off of what you just told me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, fuck Destiny at this point. I mean, I love it, and I can't wait for the Taken King. But
I watched the trailer for the Taken King, and again, I'm intrigued. We've already gone through this. I'm not going to rehash what we talked about last time, but we'll see how I'm feeling in 2 weeks.
Just fucking get it. Me, and I'm gonna give a shout out, Richie 2Ts. Him and I were talking today, and we were talking about like how amazing of a Destiny community we could make if we had enough people. So
is this your pitch? Is this your elevator pitch? Am I going to get like a free timeshare if I listen to the next 5 minutes?
No, I'm just saying you're a person and we need more people.
So here's my dilemma.
Either you want to help me or you hate me.
I already have Destiny on PS4, which would mean I'd have to buy the Taken King, which I am assuming includes all the DLC, which is nice. Mm-hmm. Which is what, $40 for Taken King, and then again, does that come with all the DLC? I haven't even paid attention.
I don't know.
Okay, either way.
If you don't have the DLC, I have no idea.
Let's just say it does. Okay. But then I also have everybody else. All my other friends are all on Xbox One and all play Destiny like on a nightly basis. For instance, I messaged my buddy Brian on Monday night and said, Metal Gear Solid 5 unlocks at 9 if you want to come over and check it out. So he likes Metal Gear Solid, but he's not as into it as I am. So I figured he wanted to come over and check it out. He texted back and said, I'm raiding. So that just gives you an idea of like that's what they do. Like most nights,
Right.
they're together, they're raiding, which is fine. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that my issue here is
I
that
wouldn't come
I have a
over.
split camp. So I have it on
Yeah.
PS4 already. I'm level 27, which whatever, that's going to be upgraded 25
Right.
automatically anyway. Whatever, I'm not worried about
Right.
that. But I'd have to buy it on PS4 to play with you, and then I'd have to probably get it on Xbox One if I want to play with those guys.
Well, fuck those guys first off. And also, I mean, like Xbox One, like they're probably the only 3 guys playing it on there.
This has been my problem with them. Is I told them from the get go that they should all get PS4s, and they all went Xbox One.
Right. Like
So we've been splintered. Our friendship has been splintered in terms of gaming because of that decision. Now, what's nice is 2 of the 3 of them have it as PS4s now. Well, actually, one of them has had it the whole time, but he primarily plays on Xbox One, whereas I do PS4. Now, I have an Xbox One now, which I've had for a few weeks and barely played other than like streaming stuff. But we have one more friend that needs a PS4, and that's actually my good buddy. And it sounds like he should be getting one the next month. I think he's eyeing the Battlefront PS4. So we'll see what happens.
The way that looks, so I'm not helping.
He's a big Star Wars guy, so I think that's his main draw.
I am a big Star Wars guy.
He wants the white.
Also, too. I'm actually physically gigantic and into Star Wars. But yeah, like don't play what I'm saying. Like I just think that PS4 looks ugly as fuck.
There you go. I'll let him know that it's Pete Dodd approved.
Yeah. Well, no, don't even mention me. Just be like, there was some guy saying something. I don't know what he said.
That's right.
You should go buy it because it's PS4, and then we can all fucking play.
That's what I told him.
System.
That's what I told him. It'll be Battlefront for days, my friend.
Right.
So we've covered Until Dawn. We've covered The Taken King, which is coming out. Do you want to talk any Madden? I know you've been playing Madden. I've only played a little bit of it just because I played it for EA Access, but I know we talked about it last week a little bit too, but anything more to shine on it?
Yeah, I'll throw some Madden out real quick. And then
The Phantom Pain.
Yeah, well, of course, but I'm thinking more I have to piss. But that's fine. Like I say stuff like that because like I grew up on like Conan O'Brien, where like he just always talked about behind the screen shit happening during the show. Never mind. Madden is pretty fantastic. It is not balanced perfectly yet. Aggressive catch is a bit over the top. Run after catch kind of makes you warp to the ball if you're going across the field. Online is weird. It's not like I can't say that it's shit. It just doesn't feel right yet. And then they're like the draft, whatever the fuck it's called, the draft shit.
Draft challenge, is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Is that the way? Are you talking about the mode where you like draft your team and then you play?
Yeah, you draft 15 people, and then the rest of your guys are like 72 or lower.
Gotcha.
And that mode is fun as shit, but it's also broken as shit because of the fact that you cannot like if you get a quarterback who can throw it long and you get a receiver who can like just vacuum any catch in, like you win. And if you don't have that, you lose. Like the game still needs to be balanced so much for that mode to be good. I've been playing that mode against the CPU, which at this point is pretty balanced. Like I keep winning game 1 and game 2 and losing game 3. And game 3 is the end. Like if you're playing humans, you have to get to game 4. So Like, all right, like that's cool. Like, I'm glad. I'm happy to lose games because that is what I want out of video games. I want challenge, like, but I don't know. Online, it's just people like doing that mode are just abusing the shit out of
Yeah.
things that are broken.
See, this is my problem. Like I don't like playing randoms in online sports games
Yeah.
because they all play like a bunch of fucking douches. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is so rare to play somebody in, let's just use Madden as the example, who actually plays the game the right way. And what I mean by that is you actually like play for strategies and you run the ball the right way and you do things. You're not trying to look for glitches. You're not
Right.
running hot routes every fucking play and
Right.
running hurry up the entire game. Like I understand that helps people win and that it is a quote unquote strategy, and I get that, but it is just annoying. Like I would rather just if I start playing somebody in Madden online and they do hurry up offense in the first drive, I might as well just quit. And not because I whatever, it's a valid strategy, I guess, but I don't want to play anybody like that. I don't want to waste my time playing somebody who's going to play like that. Like I want to play an actual legitimate game, which is why I like playing people I know or getting into an online league. So you actually, people on the other end aren't going to be super douchey.
Well, that's why I keep telling you to buy this game and get in the fucking Dodd Scientifics League. Like, people don't play like that there. And it's so fun. I mean, like, every year I'm like, when I tweet about Madden, it's like, because like Twitter is basically just a general, crowd. And I'm like, oh, this Madden has shitty lead blocking. And I get like 14 tweets. It's like, yeah, Madden sucks. It always sucks. Fucking Madden sucks. I'm like, no, I play it every year. And there's things that are good. There's things that are bad. And there's things that are in between. But it just doesn't fucking suck. And I don't know. You get in a league, it's fucking amazing. If you don't and you listen to this podcast, you yell at me about how bad it sucks, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point. I mean, of course, any game where you're going to be involved with other people on a consistent basis, whether it's sports, whether it's MMOs, whether it's really any game in general, I mean, it's going to be more fun, more entertaining. You're going to want to play it in longer stretches from, when I buy it to now. Like I'll just use the golf club as my example, and I've talked about this a few other times in some other podcasts.
Shit, you play that game so much.
I'm still playing that. I play it every week, is because I play once a week on the TGC tours, and every week I have a tournament to play. I have 4 rounds to play, and so if it wasn't for that, I would still play it. I just wouldn't play it as much as I do.
Right.
And that same, that's the same thing you can be saying about Madden or FIFA or NBA 2K15 or any of the other games that you would play, when you buy it, MLB The Show. Like you may play it in the first month and you may periodically play it after that, but you're not going to be consistently playing it unless you have a valid reason. And that reason is a league with other people who are doing the same.
Right. Absolutely would not have bought modern football. I would not have bought Madden if I didn't know that I was going to be in the Press Road League.
Yeah.
Like it was just that, like the people in the league are fun. Even when they beat the shit out of me, I'm like, I'm not mad about it. But like, yeah, like that has nothing to do with the developer, has nothing to do with the game. That has to do with the people who play it.
Right.
And that's what's weird, because like I could play a random season of like, say, NBA 2K. Because that game's so good, assuming that I got into a random league that they actually played their games, which is rare. But like, assuming I did, like that game is so fun, I would have a ton of fun with it. Like Madden, though, like is still at the point where it's like, if you want this game to last, you either need to really love the single player, or you have to have like a very large chunk of people who
that are dedicated to playing consistent.
Yeah.
Well, the one nice thing too, and I'll throw this out there just because I haven't owned a Madden in about 3 years. I've played them all because I like Madden. I just don't, and we talked about this last time. I just don't. I lose my love for it over time. I'll have it for 5-6 weeks, and then I'll never play it again. So I never buy it because I know that that's what's going to happen, unless I have another reason, which we've already just talked about.
Right.
But I think this year's Madden is a little bit on the better side in regards to just the gameplay is a ton of fun. There might be some things they have to work on. There's going to be things that you talked about, like the catches are a little overrated. And then I'm sure they'll start tweaking a little bit with patches. But just the overall gameplay is probably the best and most fun gameplay I've experienced in a Madden game in about 3 years, 3-4 years, I would say. And it might even be longer than that. I'm just looking at a shorter window.
No, I would say ever. I mean, but like ever's easy because like if you go back 10 years, there's only like 3 or 4 buttons. So like in terms of what is available to them and how fun it is, like I still would say ever. Like this game is so fucking good. Like when you're running down the fucking sideline and you take, like, they force you to take control of the wide receiver, which is something that like I and like my friends who are obsessed with Madden have always done, but they force everyone to do that. You go up for either aggressive catch or run after catch or, you know, possession catch, and you're trying to fight for like fucking position to get your hands on the ball. And sometimes you get your hands on the ball, like this is only gonna make sense to you and our one viewer, but you get your hands on the ball right here, and the other guy comes down and slaps it out. Like the fucking animations are amazing. Like
I love how the interaction of the wide receivers and the cornerbacks is the best addition that they've had in years. It's
such a huge improvement.
Yeah.
Because like last year, it was either like if you threw an incomplete pass last year, it either bounced off the wide receiver's hands or the defensive backs.
Yeah. Or it was intercepted like 100% of the time as well.
Right. But I'm just
the first game I played, it was like 6 picks. But no, I know what you're getting at is the passing game is more realistic because they actually throw in completions that are legitimate incompletions.
Right. Like you throw it down, you like, oh, this guy's going to, like what I was just saying. This guy's fucking going down sideline, throw it up. The wind's going 3 miles an hour outside of there, and the ball lands out of bounds, which it should.
Right. Now you said earlier on when we started talking about this that they're going to be patching something to help kind of the online connected franchise. Are there any other things that they're trying to address with that patch? Have there been any notes released, any type of mentioning of what they're going to be doing with that patch?
Yeah, there were a number of things that they said they were going to patch out. One of them was like defensive line players were just coming offside for no reason.
Oh, they were breaking the huddle. I remember Pasta Padre posting some videos about that. Okay, that's good.
But I haven't seen that yet. So that might have actually been patched out before we got it, because he made that video about 2 days before the game came out. So like, I don't know if that's still true. I have not seen it. But him making a stink about it helps or fixed it. What the fuck else were they going to work on? There was a couple things. Oh, I listened to a podcast, and the developers don't necessarily think that the aggressive catch is overpowered, but they realize that the community thinks that it's overpowered. And so that just makes people play the game and throw it down the field really far and go for an aggressive catch. So whether it is overpowered or not, it's making people play a certain way. So
Gotcha.
they're going to tune that.
That's good. At least they're listening, which is
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
that podcast that I listened to was really cool. They talked about a bunch of things. They talked about the run after catch thing where you kind of warp to the ball, and they were like, we can't do anything about that. Like, they were honest. They were like, the way that our passing works, like the ball to the receiver is a set thing, so we can't change it. And they were like, so like that little bit of warp is going to continue, but we're going to try to figure out a way to get linebackers and defensive backs to react to it. Like, which is a really fucking like honest answer.
Yeah.
Instead of like, what problem?
Yeah.
I
True.
haven't seen that, you know?
Well, it is refreshing. First off, coming from EA, and secondly, it's funny how you'll play a game and you'll play 2-3 games in a row or whatever, and you'll notice 5-6 things, and it makes you go, "Do the developers even fucking play this game? Because like, how do they let some of this shit slide?" And so, while it is refreshing to hear some honesty, it's kind of a bummer that they can't fix it. But at the same time, I feel like it's a bit of a new leaf for the EA side of things to just kind of come out, say it, be like, "My bad," and then try to look to at least make it playable until, of course, they'll probably fix it next year, unfortunately.
Right.
But yeah, I go with you in saying like it's definitely honest and it's nice to hear.
Yeah.
For once.
Well,
we don't always get that.
Same thing happened before the MLB release, where they were like, people keep telling us about things that were wrong last year, and we know. We play the game all the time, and when that shit happens, it makes us cringe. Like, what you don't really think about. Like, it's like you think about developers as like people who are behind like some sort of like plexiglass, and they make a game, and then whatever happens, they're immune to it. It's like, oh, whatever. But like, no, like, especially sports games, which come out every fucking year, they put the game out and they're like, oh, fuck, that's a bug. Oh, shit, why did he drop that? Like, like, and that makes sense. But it, like, when you take a wide view, but most of us take a sort of narrow view, which is sort of like, all right, so this year has too many interceptions. Next year, what are you going to have? And then we just run, like, I don't
know. But I agree with you in the fact that like, it's nice in this day and age that we get a little more honesty. And I think we've essentially forced that honesty out of them because we stopped accepting the bullshit that was getting shoveled all over us for years.
Yep.
And so it is nice, but I mean, they're people like us, they're developers, they're playing the game. But again, it's just nice to know that like the communication seems to be a little more open nowadays because you like to assume they're playing it, but sometimes you come across shit where you're like, there's no way they fucking played this game because I've come across 6 things in the last. There's a few times I play the golf club and I'm just like, how are some of these things still in this game? Like, it's been out for a year, and they have a smaller team, so it's maybe a bit unfair to pick on them that way. But I just to kind of focus on that point. It's just like you wonder sometimes, like, are they just neglecting this, or do they just not really play? Are they so close to what's going on? Do they not really see it the way we see it?
Right.
But so it's good to hear that.
Yeah, I agree. It's. I mean, how do you know? I think that's the problem with video games in general, and like everyone like grabs the team. They're like, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, and then they're like, Metal Gear Solid, fucking Splinter Cell, fuck you, get like like everyone grabs something, but I think the reason why they do that is because like it's none of it's perfect. So they just grab the shit that is closest. Like, oh yeah, this baseball game is closer to whatever, which obviously happened with MLB.
Well, they only have one to choose from, MLB. Well, I guess they have a couple arcade games to play too.
Right.
But it boils down to taste, right? Like everybody's different. Everybody has taste. Everybody gets their taste appealed to nowadays, whereas before they didn't really have options. Now, again, we go back to your iPhones and everything, and everything is personalized. I mean, and even a good another medium would be music, right? How much different music is out there? It's out there because people have different tastes.
Right. Absolutely.
So
I'm going to suggest that we take a break.
Okay.
And then come back and talk about Metal Gear Solid.
I like that. You go take a piss, Pete.
I have to piss so bad. How'd you know?
I had, I took a guess. Educated guess. Anybody watching, that one person, if they want to tweet a question in about any of the games we've been talking about, I'll be happy to answer your question on the air with Pete Dodd.
Well, there's zero right now.
That's fine.
Whatever.
Let's do it.
I'm going to turn my camera and mic off. I will be right back.
I will be here.
Piss for an hour.
Go.
when I walked in, you were just looking down. And I thought I was talking to some sort of superhero. Because you could probably you could see yourself, right? Like in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
Just look down and try to get your eyes up to.
I can't really see.
Well, you can watch this.
I'll watch the archive.
Yeah. On the old
So
YouTube.
Pete Dodd, let's talk about Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, shall we?
I gave no shits.
No shit.
I didn't even want it.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago, we chatted. You were all over the Taken King. I was all over Metal Gear Solid 5. It was a nice convo because we were kind of on different contrasting situations there.
Yep.
And who knows? It sounds like you've come around to Metal Gear 5, and we'll kind of go over this here. And maybe I'll be coming around to the Taken King.
Maybe I led you on. Maybe I don't like it at all.
You're playing hard to get, Pete Dodd. I see right through it.
I do have a low testosterone.
Well, V has come too, Pete.
Yes.
So I actually want to hear, I'm curious now. So again, we just went over how you felt 2 weeks ago. So what's changed? And let's talk about how you feel now about the game.
Well, I hope my wife doesn't watch this. I mean, like, she's already gotten mad at me once, but I think if she saw me explaining it, she would get mad at me a second time.
Okay.
But this is what happened. It's like, I don't really give a shit about Metal Gear Solid. I played and beat the first one. The second and third came out when I was in college and just out of college, and I was just drinking, doing drugs, and fucking bitches, and, you know, like, I was a rap song at that point. And so, like, and then Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, like, in the PS3 era, and I was starting to settle down. I was like, I can't be that fucked up all the time, which obviously, if you're watching this right now, I can be. But, like, it took so long to start. It was just like, here's the thing, here's the thing, here's the thing. Here, crawl up this hallway, and here's like 20, 30, 40 minutes more of fucking story. And the story made no sense, and the fucking dialogue sucked. So Metal Gear Solid 4, I didn't give a fuck about. So Ground Zeroes comes out, right? Like PlayStation 4. I'm all for it. Yeah, fuck yeah. And I didn't buy it because I didn't give a shit. Friend, like my share partner bought it when it was like on sale for like $4. So all of a sudden it's like on my fucking thing, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna stream it, and I'm streaming it like with like, you know him, Mr. Shy Smile,
right?
I'm streaming it. He's a huge Metal Gear fan. And he's watching me play it, and he's like, no, you're doing it wrong. And I'm just like, this game sucks. And I'm just shooting at the fucking air. I'm like, this game is fucking shit. Like, I don't understand why people love it so much. And so, like, I deleted it. I installed it again, tried again, deleted it, tried again, deleted it. And then last week, like, all right, Metal Gear Solid 5 is coming out. The reviews were already coming out. Like, that's why I installed it. I was like, and I don't even give a fuck about reviews. I didn't think. But, like, I saw, like, all right, this game's like a 95 right now. Like, what the fuck am I missing? So I reinstalled Ground Zeroes, and all of a sudden I started playing it, and I was like, this game's fucking awesome. Like, what the fuck was I doing wrong before this? Or did I just get to the point where, like, it sucked? And then, like, so, like, here's the sucked line. And I got to there, and it was like, well, it's awesome now. So I I played that, and I was like, oh shit, this is fucking good. This is too good. And all right, this story's going to get so much more convoluted. I hope you're ready for it. Like, I see you looking at me with your hat down.
I wouldn't have asked you the question, Pete, if I didn't want to know the honest to God truth of what actually fucking happened. So lay it on me, buddy.
All right, so I decided after that night playing fucking Ground Zeroes, I need to own this game. I have no money. Like, right now, honestly, like, I make not even enough to pay all of our bills. And Arne currently is not making any money. So we are obviously below the threshold of paying all of our bills. But she's working in real estate now, and she's been like working to close all these deals, and like it's all fucking timely. It's like, oh, we're gonna do a 7-day close, we're gonna do a 30-day close, we're gonna do a fucking 90-day close. And so like it was just like I don't know what to do. And one night I just was what am I right now? Drunk. One night I was drunk, and I was on I was on Twitter, and I was like, if someone could give me $60 PSN credit, like don't give like not $60, just $60 PSN credit, I will send you one of my Vitas. So I did that.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm fucking serious. Well, here's the thing is I tried to sell my Vita earlier in the week because like that's how fucking broke we are. And like, you know how like the Vita, like I assume you have a Vita. Do you have
I have a Vita.
You know how the fucking serial number is like across the bottom, like on that metal, like on a sticker? That shit falls off in like 2 days. And so like I brought it in, and they were like, there's no serial number. We can't do anything with this. And I called pawn shops, which like pawn shops like should be scummy and into that. But I live in fucking Utah, and they're like, yeah, no, if there's no serial number, we can't do shit with it. Right.
Pawn shops.
Right, like they just don't want to break the law because like fucking Mormon Jesus is gonna kill them, you know, like. So it's like fuck, and I put it up. There's like 2 or 3. There's Craigslist. There's KSL. Neither like they both had Vitas on them at decent prices that were like over a month old. And I was like, all right, so that's not happening there. And I was like, well, okay, so I'm just going to fucking throw this out on Twitter. You give me 60 PSN dollars, I will give you my Vita and 32 gigabyte card. That's it.
Jesus Christ. I kind of wish I was on Twitter. I had to be in Sedona over the weekend, didn't I?
You should have been. I mean, like the guy who bought the first one, like I told him that I sold the second one. He was like, I would have bought that too. But I wanted to spread the love. We'll get to the second one in a minute.
How many fucking Vitas do you own?
I own 2.
Because I own none, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, well, right now it's 0. Yeah.
Unreal.
But like I have 450 fucking PS4 games. So I mean, like, why do I need a Vita right now?
It's true.
You know, so that's fine. I'm gonna try, like, hopefully, like Arne and I are gonna make more money, and then there's gonna be some sort of Christmas deal, and then I could get the 2000, which I know like people are like, oh, the screen sucks shit. I played a bunch of games on 2000 when I was at the PSX last year in Las Vegas, and it just felt better, and the screen looked the same to me. I mean, I'm sure if you put the screens next to each other, you could see the difference. Mm-hmm. But no, like, I just played it. I was like, oh, this is a Vita that feels better in my hands and looks great. So, where am I at this point in the story?
I mean, is there more to this? This is getting exciting on my end. So you got rid of the first one. You put it on Twitter. You said, hey, I'll give somebody PSN money, or give me PSN money for $60
right.
so I can get Metal Gear Solid, and then I'll give you a Vita.
Yeah. So I get a code for 60 US dollars, and I fucking put my Vita and the fucking charging cord and the 32 gig things already in it, put it all in the box, and I put the fucking $60 code in, and I get Metal Gear Solid 5. And then I was like, fuck, FIFA's coming out later this month. And like, I'm making money right now. My wife isn't making money right now, though. So I don't.
Game, Pete. It's a team game.
I don't know if I can afford the fucking game, though. So I was like, all right, another Vita. This time, 16 gigabyte card. You know, $60. I'm gonna put it towards FIFA and Killer App, who we've played Rocket League with, comes out and he's like, fuck yeah, dude. And so
nice.
Yeah, so I sell it to him, he gives me a code, I fucking pre-order FIFA, and then I wake up the next morning because I was kind of drunk like I am right now, and I wake up the next morning and I think to myself, how am I going to explain this to my wife?
How did that go?
It didn't go well. Did not go well. I mean, I thought we were close to over it. Like, she didn't talk to me for a day. And then she was talking to me today, which is the...
That's progress, Pete. It's progress.
The second day. But then she just shut off again. Like, she was just like, meh.
So no booby in the mouth then?
No booby in the mouth. No anything other than like, I know you're awful with money and I hate you for it. And when I hear that coming out of her eyes, I go, right. I can't deny it. Like, that was horrible. I got rid of 2 Vitas for 2 fucking games. I mean, like, that's not even like, yeah, no.
But one of those games, Pete, is Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. So let's dive into what this fucking game actually is, because in my opinion, it's worth 2 Vitas. So we'll go ahead and just let you roll. So you download Metal Gear Solid 5. It unlocks. You fire it up.
Right. Here's the thing is I'm not a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. So I played and beat the first one back on like PlayStation 1. I did not play 2. I did not play 3. I tried to play 4. I think I already said this tonight. I don't even remember.
You did.
Okay, good. So I'll just skip ahead. So I start playing it, and like off of the happiness of Twin Towers, or what the fuck it's called.
Ground Zeroes?
Yeah, 9/11.
What? Where does 9/11 come from?
I just got dark.
Okay. Go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
Sometimes I get dark. This is why Rich Grisham ran away. Are you going to run away?
I'm not gonna run away.
Are you gonna run away because I got dark?
Go ahead.
9/11, never forget.
I got my night vision on, player. Let's do this.
So I don't remember. I start playing it, right? And so this is going to be spoilers for the prologue. I don't really I don't think they're going to be huge spoilers. This is going to be sort of generic spoilers. But like in my mind, like I beat Metal Gear back on the NES when I was a fucking child, and I beat Metal Gear Solid 1, and then I didn't really fuck with the rest of them. And all of a sudden, like I'm playing this game, and it's great. It's fucking awesome. Like I'm in a hospital, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, and like that's great. And then I sort of get out of the hospital with this other guy, and there's like this fire dude, and I'm like, all right, evidently Metal Gear has magic humans now. Like it's turned into like superhero shit. But like I wasn't mad at that. I was like, that's fucking cool. You know, I was like, this guy's fucking awesome, except for when it rains on him.
Right.
And he's like, oh, I'm not so awesome anymore. And so like I worked through all of that and like all the shit. Finally get out. And then I get into a helicopter or whatever, and they're like, oh, you got to go to your friend in Afghanistan, which is what I've been working on for the past 2 days. And like, this is going to sound pathetic because I have not beaten, like that was the prologue, right? Like the fucking fire dude and whatever. I am in Afghanistan, and I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like I am on the hill. I'm looking at like this fucking town. I'm marking dudes with my fucking like my whatever eye shit, you know, and I'm like, and then I sneak up, and then I find another guy, and then, you know, like I get behind someone, and I fucking stab him in the neck, and then I pick him up and throw him like off a hill, which like this game is much, much more sort of graphically intense with violence than the other Metal Gear games. Like, would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, first off, the game looks amazing. I mean,
yes,
the Fox engine is incredible. It runs buttery smooth. It looks damn near photorealistic at times, especially just the scenery, man. Like when you're flying in and out of Afghanistan, or you're just taking a look, like you're up on the hill, like you said, and you look at some of the hillsides and shit.
Right.
It fucking looks real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no joke. But like going into some of the, and it's actually been some times where, first off, I guess I'll just kind of dive into it. First, at this point, I'm a huge Metal Gear Solid fan. You already know this. We talked about this last time.
Yes.
I played all the games. I probably know more about the lore than I should at this point. I've replayed the games in chronological order just to kind of check them out again, just to get revamped and get ready for
Nerd.
Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When it comes to this, yes. And so I'm fucking ripping ready to go. I've been counting down to this game for a long time.
Right.
And I was just sitting at my couch waiting for that fucking timer to hit 0. And it happened at 9 p.m. my time. I fired up immediately. And I was kind of like borderline giddy. I mean, that's how fucking nerdy I was at that point. Like I was so excited to be like firing the game up, and kind of had one of those moments of like, I'm actually fucking playing this finally. Like I've been counting down to this fucking day forever.
Yeah.
And it's finally here. You know what I mean?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Because Metal Gear Solid 4 was like what, like the first or second year of the PlayStation 3?
Yeah, and then all we've had between now and then has been Peace Walker, which I really, really liked.
Yeah, Peace Walker was fun.
But it's still been, I don't even know when that came out. It's been at least probably 3-4 years, I would imagine. So it's been a long time to kind of get the next step in the saga and essentially finish the loop, right? Like this is the game that goes from Peace Walker to Metal Gear on the NES. This fills that gap and essentially completes Boss's story. It completes basically his turn from Anakin to Darth Vader. And so it's like we kind of know where it ends, but we just don't know how.
Right.
And so to be able to play through this, it's really cool to be able to do it. And the fact that it seems at this point to be so perfectly done. I mean, I've played over 20 hours of it already in a day and a half. And I took yesterday off work. So that's why.
You have a girlfriend, right?
I do, yeah. Yep. She understands. But anyway, so like
she's not like, are you sure she's not on like Tinder right now?
Oh, I mean, for all I know, she's bagging like the 5 black dudes at the same time. Like, I don't know. I trust it. My point is
why
that
black dudes?
I don't know. Why
are
dudes
you
black
racist?
Dudes? I am not at all. I'm just making a point that
I used to just call Rich Grisham racist all the time, so I feel like I should do it to you.
Anyway, so the point I'm getting at is I've played a lot of this game already, and there's still tons to go. I think I'm between 20 and 21 hours right now. I just took a look at the stats before I turn it off today, and I'm 12% of the way through the game. 12%.
The game's like 80 hours long.
At least. And so I think I'm 20% through the story missions, but I'm only 12% through the actual game.
Right.
And in most cases, I'd be like, fuck, I got to play more of this. I'm overwhelmed. There's too much to do. I had this happen in The Witcher where I just like, there was way too much going on. And I fell out of love with The Witcher.
Yeah. You know
I had
what?
a really good initial impression of it.
Fuck The Witcher 3. That game, it's not bad, but it's not amazing enough to put all of that effort into.
Right. But here's the thing with The Witcher, and I'll go back to Metal Gear. But with The Witcher, I never played 1 or 2. I got caught up on the lore by watching a couple of YouTube videos. I felt like I was pretty geared up to get into The Witcher, and I was still following the lore pretty well. I got tired of all the fucking talking. All the dialogue, all the quests that were like, go do this. But it really wasn't go do that. It was go do these other 6 things. And then 40 minutes later, you're doing the thing they want you to do initially. Like, that's what drove me crazy about that game. And I eventually just got sick of it and I sent it back. After probably playing 30 to 40 hours of it, I just got tired of it and I was done. That is not going to happen with Metal Gear Solid. First off, I'm just much more invested in it, in my opinion. But secondly, it is just fucking fun to play. It is. It's probably, I'm just going to go and say right now, it's the best open world game I've ever played, and I've only played 20 hours of it. Like, there is so much that you can do, but all of it is fun to do. The gameplay is amazing. You can try out different things. They have different ways of doing, you can be stealthy. You can go at different times of day. And then here's the best part, is the enemies react to it. So I was playing a mission last night. And so most of the missions I've done, I've chose to do at night because it's just easier to do because you're under the cover of night and you're not seen as easily. And it's just an easier way to kind of stealth it in. And usually there's not as many enemies because they're sleeping and they're doing things that like human beings do at night. Right.
Yep.
But what ends up happening is the AI starts reacting to that. So last night I had a mission where I had to go and blow up some tanks. And I was like, cool. So I grabbed my rocket launcher. I'm ready to roll. I fly in at night. I roll in. I tag some guys from a distance with my binoculars. And I'm like, okay, I kind of have a set thing of what I'm going to do. I'm going to come from the north. I'm going to come in, kind of come around the back. And I'm going to start picking guys off one by one. Well, what I don't know until I get up there is they all have night vision goggles, which I hadn't seen up until this point in the game.
Right.
Which means I was fucked because they all saw me coming in. And they were just as aware of me as if it was fucking noon.
Right.
And I thought that was the coolest shit. Here's the other part is usually I was getting a lot of headshots and I was doing a lot of the tranquilizing so I could take them back to Mother Base with the Fulton balloon. They started wearing helmets.
I don't have Mother Base.
So
does that happen after chapter 1?
You'll get there eventually.
Okay.
I'm not going to spoil when or what happens.
All right.
But it unlocks
I
after the first couple of missions.
All right, I haven't fucked up, is what you're saying.
No. It's a huge part of the game, so you won't be able to fuck that up.
Cool.
But either way, so like I'm playing this mission and my entire strategy going into it has been kind of rinsed and repeated from the previous couple of strategies of what I did in the previous missions. But I had to completely revamp what I was doing because I couldn't play it the way I had just been playing it. They started reacting to it. I had to kind of change what I was doing. And then even from that point, I've seen them change even more. So now I'm starting to see guys that have shields that wear them on their back. So I can't sneak up behind them because they have the shield on their back and stuff. And so it's just awesome to see the AI and just the overall strategies completely change because of how I've been playing. So I'm going to have to revamp it. And when I revamp it, they're going to fucking change again. I'm going to have to keep making these adjustments. I've also seen myself go from being very stealthy to start changing things up and actually being a little more action oriented, a little more aggressive in certain situations.
Right.
Because I'm starting to realize that like, you get these binoculars that allow you to see what type of soldiers are there ahead because you want to start recruiting people and taking people back to your base that are good in certain areas. They give them like 6 or 7 different attributes, and the attributes go from A to S, with S being the best.
I'm not at that shit at all.
Yeah. You'll get there.
This sounds like magic.
It's fucking awesome because you're basically recruiting your army to fill your base, and then you're building Mother Base out with different platforms and different, like an intel group and a medical group and a fighting group. And so everybody has these attributes, and you're trying to recruit them. And so as you take a look at people from afar, you'll like come up to this base where there's 12 soldiers that are patrolling, and you'll start picking and choosing the different soldiers that you actually want to take back to your base. And you'll start realizing that at first you just take everybody because you just need to fill and populate your base. Yeah. After a while, you start getting a little more selective because it's just not worth your time because it takes a lot more time to sneak up, to tranquilize them, and then to balloon them out than it does to just fucking snipe them from 100 yards.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what you'll start doing is you'll start picking and choosing, okay, well, these 3 guys have B in the intel category, and my intel is a little low now. So I want to be able to take those guys back to my base because I want to raise my intel rating. Because as I raise that, or I raise my research rating, I have accessibility to other things like better guns, better intel while I'm on missions, things like that. And so there's like incentive to bring those guys back. But what you'll start doing is you'll start being like, well, fuck it. I'm going to kill these other 6 guys or 10 guys because they all have E's and D's. And that doesn't help me at all. Whereas 3 hours prior, I was like, fuck, I'm going to balloon all these guys in because I need people. Right. Now you're like selective, and it's only going to get more and more that way. Yeah. So you start morphing your gameplay into being very stealthy and being very like careful with what you're doing. And then you turn into just being like, fuck it, I'm rolling in here like Rambo, but I'm going to shoot these other 3 guys in the leg so I wound them as opposed to kill them, or I'm just going to trank them and then kill everybody else and then balloon them out. But it's just like all this shit happens, and it's just amazing.
So what you're saying is you will kill somebody, an innocent person, if they don't feed your war machine.
Well, they're not innocent, first off. But yes, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, Pete. I'm trying to build Mother Base here, bro. Like,
yeah, like they'll just come in and be like, I want to fight, and they're like their left arm doesn't work well. They're like, it's like this, and you'll just shoot them in the forehead and be like, nah, fuck you.
Pretty much. But see, I have a medical bay though, so I can fix anybody. I just bring them back. Got a medical bay. Take care of that shit. I even have a fucking zoo on my goddamn Mother Base. I have a zoo. You know why I have a zoo? Because there's animals in the game. I can bring the animals back to Mother Base, and I build a fucking zoo. I have Noah's Ark on my fucking Mother Base. That's how fucking awesome this game is.
You are so much further than me, and I already love the fucking game. I can't wait till I get Noah's Ark.
It's incredible, dude. I'm telling you right now.
That's the shit I want. For like, fuck. Goddamn. And like that's like Farmville, but like times Jesus.
Right?
Farmville times Jesus equals Noah's Ark. Right? I mean,
pretty much, yeah. That's it. The other badass part with this, and I'm trying to keep this as condensed as I can, is the fact that like the open world side of it is just so fun with the stealth aspect. This is the first stealth open world game I've ever played. I mean, I guess Far Cry has that too, so maybe that's a bit unfair.
No,
But
Far Cry is not a stealth game though.
it does promote it though. You do get
Yeah, like
beneficial stuff
you
from
can
doing
do
it that way.
stealth shit, but
Correct.
like stealth games are Metal Gear Solid, fucking Splinter Cell, Hitman.
Right.
Like Far Cry is not a stealth game.
But here's the thing: is it has the overall meatiness of The Witcher, which is
Mhm.
awesome. But it has the instant gratification of like, let's just say Rocket League, just to throw it out there, because every mission that you do, you're constantly gaining something, whether it's a soldier from other base, an upgrade to your weapon,
Right.
an additional thing that you need to get an upgrade. You know, an item. You're grabbing materials while you're on
Yeah.
location. You're grabbing these
Yeah.
things, and it's
You're
giving you
grabbing
more.
metal. You can
Yeah,
pick
you're grabbing metals, you're
plants.
grabbing fuel, you're grabbing everything to fuel your base. So you're everything that you do is constantly going towards something that's going to be beneficial. Whereas
Yeah.
when I played The Witcher, I constantly felt like I was running in place,
Yeah.
even after hours and hours of gameplay.
I agree with you. I am 100% on fuck The Witcher 3. Not that it's a horrible game, but it's not a focused fun game. It's a giant world of you can make fun if you can find fun in it.
Yeah, and I'm not even trying to bash The Witcher 3. I'm just trying to make a comparison in the fact that like they're very similar in scope.
I'm trying to bash.
I just think
Witcher
that
3.
one pulls it off way better than the other. This is my personal opinion.
Mhm.
Obviously, I have much more ties to Metal Gear, and I'm sure some of that's just kind of fanboy-ish, and I'll
Right.
admit that. But like, I just even anybody coming off the street like you, like that doesn't really have very much affinity towards Metal Gear, I think you still would find this
Right.
game to be extremely fun because the gameplay is
It's
so varied and
really
so
well
rewarding and
played.
so
Yeah.
just awesome. It's so
Yeah.
well thought out. There's so many little things, little touches.
Yeah.
And it's like I literally went to work today and I was like, fuck, I can't wait to get home to play more. And I'd already played 18 hours because I took that fucking day off the day before. I mean, you're, like I said, you bothered me tonight to do the podcast, and I said, look, I'm
Right.
gonna take a break from Metal Gear to do this. But like,
Right.
I'm so looking forward to tomorrow night when I can pop it back on again and just tackle it. And here's the other thing too, is you can also play it in chunks because it's all
Yeah.
mission based. Like it's all divided up into little missions and things that you can do. So you can play it for hours or you can play it for 5 to 10 to 15, 20 minutes and be okay with it. And every time you play
Right.
it, you enjoy that experience, whether it's 10
Yeah.
minutes or whether it's 10 hours.
Yeah, the autosave is awesome. Like because I will play it for like an hour and a half, and then I'll play it for like 10 minutes. And there's no like button. Like you can't hit start and then go save and go to menu. Like there's nothing that says that it's gonna happen. So I just turn the game off, and then when I come back, I'm like either right where I was or like maybe a minute and a half back at
Yeah.
most.
Yeah. So it will periodically save things throughout missions.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will have to backtrack. Like I had a mission today, which makes sense, right? Like I understand that part of it. Like I had a mission today where we were supporting some sort of a guerrilla group. And my mission, which was fucking awesome, was for 15 minutes, I had to blow up as many vehicles as I could find, which was fucking awesome because I had been very stealthy most of the time.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I had to completely flip the script and be like, I was my loadout had C4 and rocket launchers. And I was just riding around on my fucking horse with a rocket launcher. Pete, let me say that again. Riding my horse with a rocket launcher, chasing down like APCs and little like missile, like V2 rocket type missile shit, and smoking them from my horse. That's how cool this fucking game is.
Did it take like in count like watching this video, which 2 people are watching now. you're on a
Welcome.
horse. You're
Yeah.
like this, right? I'm
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna keep making noise just so like I'm on the camera. Did it take in count
Of
where
course.
you were?
Yep. Absolutely.
Fuck.
I'm telling you, man, you're in for a treat as you play more of it. And anybody else watching that hasn't watched it or hasn't played it, here's probably my biggest thing is anybody who's a Metal Gear fan, they probably have it. Anybody who was like you, that's like, I don't really know, I don't really follow the lore. Here's the thing: is obviously you're gonna get more out of the game if you know the lore. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. The more you know about the Metal Gear lore, the more you're going to appreciate what you're seeing, what you're going through in the missions.
I will say though that not knowing what's going on is also interesting.
And that's what I was getting at.
As long as it pays off.
Is in my opinion, I've played all the games so far, and again, I'm only 20 hours into this and very, very, 19% done or 10, 12% done with it. But this is by far the one Metal Gear game that you can play and have an amazing time just playing the game and not even having any idea of why or what you're doing. Like you can just fucking sit down and have it's almost like a GTA type situation where you can jump into GTA and you can just go do whatever the fuck you want and have a blast, and you don't have to know what the storyline's about. Like that is how the Phantom Pain is, and all the rest of it is just fucking icing on it. The story, all that stuff. And so far what I've seen out of the story, for those people that care about the story, I think it's very interesting. And I also don't know what's going on for the most part, Pete, so don't feel bad. Like that opening hour was incredible in my opinion. It was paced so well. Like right when I was like, all right, I'm tired of crawling, he stood up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it felt like everything that was supposed to happen in my mind, like I wanted to happen, it did. And there was all kinds of shit that happened where I was like, I have no idea what the fuck just happened, but it was fucking awesome. And I'm so excited to see where it goes from here. And I've already seen a few other cutscenes and things as I've gone through it. But either way, like there's still so much mystery behind what's actually going on in that opening hour. But the opening hour has to be experienced by, I would say, everybody that has a fucking PS4 or an Xbox One. Like it is awesome. Or even PC, right? I keep forgetting it's on PC too.
It is.
So
I think we should talk about that one moment. And so, well, let's say this.
Are you going to spoiler this?
We're going to talk about a moment in the prologue, and then we're going to say our goodnights. So if you don't want to have anything spoiled, I don't think this is a huge spoiler, but if you don't want anything spoiled, turn the podcast off now because we're going to end soon.
And thanks for listening up until now.
Yes. Well, thanks. I mean, thanks for Mark, because I'm just a mess.
Fire away, Pete. Let's do this. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Go.
Prologue. Okay. Spoiler alert. So the whole section, like, number one, I had no idea that you were going, like, the game was going to start off with, like, you being sort of waking up from a coma, right? Though that was what they showed at, like, E3, like, a year or two ago.
Well, the very first unveiling of this game was essentially that opening prologue for the most part.
Right.
Which when it was Moby Dick Games and nobody knew what it was called, and it was just this like random game out of nowhere that everybody blew everybody away. And then eventually we found out it was Metal Gear.
Right. So you end up finding out that you are Big Boss, which I had no idea about. I'm gonna do a shout out to Joey Chu, who I don't think listens to this podcast. But like, he's the biggest Metal Gear fan that I know, so I picked his brain over DMs on Twitter last night for like 45 minutes.
Oh, nice.
So he could fill me in on the story, and so like you're crawling and you're crawling and you're crawling, and then like all of a sudden you're sort of crawling faster. And then, like, every single thing that it's like, hey, climb up on this. Like, you climb up on it, and then you fall over. it was like that's shit that like I don't know. Like I might take this more seriously than other people do because of the fact that I work with like handicapped people and I work with people like who have mental illness and I work with shit like that. But like the fact that like at that point in time, you know, like Big Boss, who I found out it was later because I didn't know that Big Boss and Solid Snake weren't the same person. Um, he was just struggling with shit, and like you're playing the game and you feel that urgency. It's like you're getting chased, and you're like, oh, here's a thing I can maybe climb up onto and run, and then like the thing falls over, and you're like, fuck, this thing behind me is still right there.
Right.
Like that, like I thought, like, I mean, this is me being like this is just from the work that I do or whatever, but like I thought that was sort of an amazing example of like what it feels like to not be able to use all of your like facilities, you know?
Yeah.
And like obviously, you know, most people in the world who can't walk, they don't get chased by like fire monsters or whatever. But
I think that's a fair assumption.
yeah, most of them don't. Maybe some.
You never know. You haven't met them all. You haven't met them all. So
yeah, exactly. I mean,
we'll leave that 1% out there just in case.
Some might, but like I thought that was really cool. Like it actually gave insight to what it's like to be like. I mean, when you're playing a fucking game, like most of your insight usually is like, I'm a professional soldier and I'm running 100 miles an hour and I'm diving behind cover and I'm shooting over the fucking thing and I'm, you know, like it's usually that type of shit, or like I'm a superhero and I can fly. And like the opening to that game was, I am disabled. Like that is fucking rare in video games.
I think so. The opening part, I think it just shows the genius that is Hideo Kojima. Like he hits everything he needs to hit in that first hour, whether it's tension, whether it's the emotional side of you, like you were just saying, you feel bad for Boss. Like the fact that the way he comes out of the coma, the way he's blinking, he's interacting, they're coming back to him multiple times. Yeah, like he sees his arm gone for the first time and reacts. Yeah. He sees like the X-rays they show him, like all this stuff is all so strategically done and perfectly paced and perfectly put in front of you as you're going through this first hour, that so I guess I'll go back to, like, for instance, there's a few games that have tried to do this like origin story and they try to get you to feel for it. Let's go back to 2 years ago, the Tomb Raider that they remade, which I love.
Right. Yeah.
The opening couple of hours of that were awesome.
Great.
And then all of a sudden she was like this maniac killing, murdering machine. She went from like this really cool scene of making her first kill and being very emotional about it.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in right now?
Go ahead.
When she, like, I had this conversation with Richie Tooties, who is on our forums today, when like her first kill is with a bow and killing a deer. Correct. I thought to myself, like, holy shit, we're gonna have to fucking kill animals. We're gonna have to cook them up. Like, this is gonna be a survival game. You never kill an animal again in the game. And I'm not saying I want to kill animals, but like I wanted that whole, like, you have to evolution of it. Right? Like you kill something and you eat it and you fucking find water and you drink it. Like, I wanted that out of the game so bad. And they were just like, no, it's just a tutorial on how to use the bow. Yeah, and I guess this kind of solidifies my point, is that you have a team of developers who make an outstanding game in Tomb Raider.
They do a good
Right.
job of, relaunching it, and the idea of what's happening is awesome. And even the opening couple of sections are great. But at some point it kind of loses the messaging of what it's trying to do, and then it just kind of hits the gas and goes by a bunch of moments that you would want to experience.
Right.
Hideo Kojima doesn't do that. Like, when you compare those two games, which might be unfair, but at the same time, like the beginning of The Phantom Pain, I don't know how it could have been any better. Like the pacing of how he comes out of the coma, how he goes from crawling to standing to kind of going, a little bit more powerful and somewhat walking and basically surviving for the most part that first hour. Like, that is done so perfectly that when you experience that, you're just like,
shot. Like, that's
he gave him a shot of adrenaline.
Yeah, like it's out of our world. Like,
I'm not saying it's realistic. My point is that how he portrays that moment, you actually feel like that's exactly what would happen if I were in that moment. Like, you know what I mean? And when it goes and comparing it to the Tomb Raider side of it, like, you understand what she's like coming through when she kills the deer and then she makes her first kill, and it's kind of emotional, and they do it really well.
Yeah.
They don't the pacing of how that happens, it just goes from like 0 to 50. And you kind of you skip these 49 steps. Whereas I felt like in that first hour of gameplay, there was nothing that was really skipped. It's accelerated to a point because it's a game, and I get that. But you don't feel like you're getting rushed through it. You know what I mean? You feel like you're hitting each beat of the song perfectly. And that's what I just loved about it.
I love the prologue, and most of the time where I feel like, oh, they're saying this is part of the game, but it's actually a tutorial. Like, that usually annoys me. And the prologue is definitely a tutorial.
Yeah, for sure.
But it also hits so many story points that you don't feel like, oh, this isn't useless. Like, they are putting, like, and that's the same thing that I think Naughty Dog does. Like, if you look at the beginning of, like, any of the Uncharted's, the only Last of Us, like, as they're teaching you to play the game, they're also putting story beats in, and that's something that so many games don't do. They're like, okay, like, here's our game, and like, here's the tutorial, which has nothing to do with the story. You're just running through a fucking cave, and it's just like, here's how you jump.
It's funny to hear that, like, and see how it's evolved too. A lot of that's just because people are getting better at making games. But for instance, I got an Xbox One a couple weeks ago now, and I got Master Chief Collection, which I'm excited to play through, and I probably will do that next month as I gear up for Halo 5. But I played the opening of Halo 4, and then the opening of Halo 1, the campaign, and they're drastically different. But you're right, it's just, look left, look right, look up, jump, and all this stuff that he's just on fucking the ship, the Pillar of Autumn or whatever, and he's just running around like in the training grounds. But you're right. So it's nice to start seeing like these narratives being implemented and layered into the tutorial, so that it doesn't feel like a tutorial. And the other part too is because Metal Gear Solid is the open world game and it's so geared towards gameplay that I think the storytelling moments are going to be, I'm not going to say few and far between, but I think Hideo Kojima needs to make the most out of when he can tell the story. Right. And so I think the fact that he has this opening hour where he can really, really set the stage. And then as I've played through it, and again, I've only played, I think, about 10 or so story missions, or they call them just regular missions, and they have the side ops. Yeah. And there's been layers of cutscenes and things throughout it, but it has been, I'm not going to say sparse. I think that's unfair, but it hasn't been as prevalent as it has been in previous Metal Gears. And so I think that he really had to start off that way because he has to get a lot of the storytelling done, and he's going to have other chunks where it happens. But I think in a game like The Phantom Pain, where it's so heavily on the side of gameplay and open world and kind of creating your own narrative, that it's awesome to know that, like, when he's going to have his moments, they're going to be incredible. And I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more of those hours that we've seen of that quality throughout the, I'm guessing, 40 to 50 hour game that I'm going to be playing, if not more.
Yeah. I'm hoping so too. Like, I really like the way that the game's set up because I'm sick of open world games at this point. But before I got sick of open world games, I got sick of linear games. And like, so like this game is, here's the level and it's a huge open area, but it's not open world. You can't just go run to like mission 8 or whatever. But it's not linear. It's not like just go run there and do that. I mean, you could do that, but if you just run straight into like whatever village, you're going to get killed. Like, I love that design where it's just like, all right, like here's the middle and here's the playable area.
Yeah, like here's your target. It's in this like, quarter-mile radius or eighth of a mile radius. Like, go find it.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's awesome, and it's unique at this point in time because everything is either totally open world or it's like, like Until Dawn, which we were talking about earlier. Like, that's a very, just straight ahead. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just like, that's actually one of the reasons I like that game. Is because everything's been so open world. Like going from fucking The Witcher 3 to whatever, like all these games have been open world, and it's like, oh, it's really nice to play something that just goes from A to B to C to D. And this game is somewhere in between. And it's like, that's also part of the genius of, like, I don't want to say his name because his name comes up so much in all of the fucking credits. if you know what I'm saying, like, it's just like, it's like, all right, I'm starting the game up, and it's like written by Hideo
Kojima.
Yeah, and it's like directed by and like this and that, and then it's like first fucking mission comes up, and it's like written by him, and then the second one, I'm like, how many times do you need to have your fucking name in the game? Seriously.
Well, so you brought up a good point, right? So it's like, I think you're right in terms of it's a perfect balance between an open world, but also an episodic way of attacking that world. And it's like this perfect balance of that. And also it's rewarding. Like, and that was the one thing that was missing for me with The Witcher 3 was I felt like I did all this shit, but I never really get anything from it. And that's that's just me being a stupid gamer. But like, I want to get something, right? Like, still, I want that loot. I want something to fall down on the ground that I can fucking pick up. Like, I want to blow something up and have just fucking loot go everywhere like Diablo 3. Like, that is awesome.
100% agree.
And so that was the one thing for me that was lacking from The Witcher that is in this game. Like, you are constantly getting stuff. You're constantly, everything that you do in a mission, like there's something that's going to enhance something in your base or whatever. Like, I already went over it, so I won't go through it again. But that was the one thing that I think you hit on the head in the fact that it's a perfect balance between open world, but also kind of short stint type gameplay. And it's rewarding no matter how you play it. Because you can run around Afghanistan and do whatever the fuck you want to do. Or you can just go through the missions, and you're gonna have just as much fun doing either one, or a mixture of both, which is what ends up happening organically anyway.
And even in the missions, you can go like, I'm gonna go in the backside of town. Oh wait, I got fucking killed. I am going to go in the right side of town. Like, you can always come at a new way, so it's not like oh, I have to play the same section over and over again. Like going back way back, like Super Mario Brothers. Yeah. It's like, oh, plus you died, you go back and you have to do the same thing. Like, with this, it's like you can go at different areas, but at the same time, it's not like you can go like, well, I'm going to walk out of Afghanistan and go to Pakistan and deal with that mission. Like, it's not that open. Yeah. And so like it's focused, but gives you many angles.
Correct. And not only can you choose where to go in the city, but you can choose what time you do it, which drastically changes the strategy. And then, as I said earlier, once you figure out, oh, okay, well, this is kind of working, so I'm gonna do this every single time, then the enemy changes. And then you're like, well, fuck, I can't do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, and then
Yep.
there's all these different items and things that I haven't even scratched the surface of, and I'm over 20 hours in. Like, apparently there's this little decoy thing you can get that
Mhm.
pops up a cutout of a soldier. So you can like plan it like a C4. You basically plan it and then you hit a button to ignite it so it
Right.
pops out. You can go throw it like in the middle of the road. And then you run around like the back side. And then like let's say you throw, they give you magazines that you can throw that are kind of like the rocks from Far Cry where it kind of drags their attention over.
Yep.
So you get their attention looking at this thing and then you pop it up and they all think it's you or they think it's like an enemy soldier. So they start like walking in alerted at it. And then while they're doing that, you just roll around the backside and go grab the hostage or you go grab whatever you're trying to do, the document. So you can do it that way. You can just run in there with a rocket launcher or with a tank or whatever you want to do. Like there's just so much you can do and so many different ways you can complete missions. And then you can go back and replay the missions.
Right.
Which I'm pretty sure, I don't know if there's another open game where you can do that. At least until you beat it.
I think that like probably not for a couple months, but we're going to get like hysterical videos. Like somebody who just rolls forward through an entire mission, you know, like just finds a way to do that and then like punch the guy and save the man or whatever. Like I like the fact that you can replay those missions and the fact that like the game encourages you because it gives you scores and whatnot. Like I think we're going to see a lot of really funny shit.
Yeah, I would agree. And not only does it give you scores when you do the missions, but it has different tasks that you do throughout it that add to your score and that help you in certain ways. And there's certain tasks that you can't do until you get certain items, which promote to go back and replay. And that doesn't mean you have to by any means, which is awesome.
Right.
But if you want to go back and do certain, like I think there's a couple of early missions where you have to Fulton some people out, but you don't have the Fulton balloon yet.
Right.
So you have to go back and do that if you want to complete and get an S ranking. You have to go back again and play it because you don't have the item to do said task. And so I don't know. I mean, again, I could honestly talk about this game for fucking hours and still probably not give it enough credit for just how awesome it has been, at least in the 20 hours that I've played it. And I mean, again, I can't recommend it enough. And I think the important part to go back to is that you don't have to be a Metal Gear Solid fan to enjoy this game. No. And I made a pretty lofty sentence. Or I said a pretty lofty sentence last time we talked, and I said that this was going to be our Red Dead until Red Dead was going to be made. And I'm going to stick by that statement as of 20 hours into it.
I will agree with that statement. As like I'm not 20 hours into it. I think I'm about 4 or 5, but because I keep dying because I don't know how to play, but at the same time, like that's not making me mad, which is a sign of a great game. You know, like like games that like where you die over and over, and you're just like, "Fuck this is shit."
Yeah, I felt that way about Bloodborne. I felt the same way. I died a lot, but I loved it anyway.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with you. And same thing with the Souls games, like Dark Souls and Demon Souls and whatever. Like when you die, there's a reason, and that's how I feel in Metal Gear. Like I don't feel like the game cheats on me.
No,
I feel like I have all these tools. I'm in Afghanistan. I'm on top of a fucking mountain. I'm looking at a village, and I have like these fucking goggles, and I look through them, and I can mark dudes if I see them. And even when I take them off, I still see them marked. And then I go in and I get killed. That's my fault. Like I had the advantage going in there. I mean, like I know it was like 1 on 12, but I still like I knew I was going in. They didn't know I was going in. And so fun. And then I died going in the front, so then I went in the back the next time, you know, and I learned a little bit more. Like I'm not good at the game, but like the game, like if you keep playing it, you keep trying different strategies, like it sort of teaches you. Like it's like, oh yeah, like you can sort of lay down the grass and then someone walks by and you can R2 and fucking drag them down and punch them in the back of the head. You know, like it's fucking awesome.
This is one cool thing too, and we've been talking a lot about the stealth aspects of it and how it's different than other open world games because it's very much stealthy. But the one thing that I think it's overlooked is how great the action gameplay is.
Oh, it is.
It's actually like it plays probably better than any of the other. I would safely say that it's one of the best third-person shooters I've ever played.
Yes.
As of now, and it's not even a big part of the game if you don't want it to be.
I wouldn't put it over SOCOM because I'm a SOCOM whore, but second best.
You know what? I saw your tweet, and I thought that was amazing. And the first thing I thought of was, why can't they make Metal Gear Online have like a SOCOM type mode to it? How fucking amazing would that be?
There might be. I can't. I am so excited for Metal Gear Online.
Yeah. I can't wait. And all the mother-based stuff and all the microtransactions. I mean, I don't whatever microtransactions I could care less about. I'm not going to get all fucking tiffy about it. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
But like I'm just again, we can rant and rave for hours, and I don't think we'll ever give it justice. And again, I've only played it for 20 hours at this point, and there's fucking hours and hours of gameplay. There's probably 500 hours of gameplay if you want it to be that. And I'm not even exaggerating. It's probably in this game. So I was going to talk about, there's this quick moment I wanted to go over. So I did this mission. It was at night. I rolled in, like I got seen once. They were like shooting flares up in the air to try to light up where you were, which is fucking really cool.
Yeah.
So I end up kind of getting out of there. I had a guy I had to rescue. I ended up but I had to carry him out because he was so injured. I couldn't Fulton balloon him out because it would have killed him. So I had to actually carry him back to the helicopter. So for those that don't know what I'm talking about, like you can literally go in and grab these people and you can carry them around, and you have to call in a helicopter from your base, and it comes in real time and picks you up. And you can even you can upgrade a speaker on your helicopter to pick what kind of music plays when it comes in. So I have, of course, Ride of the Valkyries on it because I had to.
Nice.
Either way, so I call the helicopter in. And I'm just fucking hightailing out there because there ended up being a tank and like a car that rolled in with a group of enemies. And I'm like, at this point, I'm just like, fuck, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Right. So I start sprinting with this guy on my back, and I'm in mid run. I bring up my little iDroid. I call in the helicopter, and it's like, I'll be there, whatever. And so I slowly hear the helicopter chopper coming in, like the whoop, whoop, whoop of the chopper sound, and it's getting closer and closer. And as it gets a certain part away, I slowly start hearing the music as well coming in, and I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. So I'm running up this hillside with this fucking hostage on my arm, on my shoulders. Sprinting up this hillside. So it gets to be about 40 meters from me, and it starts descending, and I'm coming up over the hill, and all of a sudden I see the little notification, the white thing that pops up when somebody's seen you.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a fucking bear, Pete. A bear. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I turn at it. It stands up on its hind legs, and this thing is fucking giant. And I'm standing there with the helicopter on the other side of this bear. And I'm like, and so I take my trank out and I just start pumping it with fucking darts, and it sprints at me and kills me instantly, and I fail the mission. And it was the most amazing moment. Even though I died, I was like, that was fucking awesome.
Holy shit, that's funny. I was looking on my Twitter stream earlier, and someone said, I just punched a donkey in the face. Hashtag MGS5 or MGSV. And I was like, really? Because all I've seen so far is birds. That's fucking
And I hadn't seen a bear before then. I didn't even know the bears were in the game. And here's this fucking 9-foot bear standing in front of me, and it just annihilates me and the prisoner that was already 70% dead. And it brought me back to the checkpoint right before that, so I didn't lose too much time, which was nice. But it was I actually, now that I think about it, I should have actually saved the video of it. Now that I think about it, I should have done it.
You shouldn't have to think about it now. You should have.
Yeah, I know. But it it was one of the coolest things that I'd ever experienced in that game for sure, but just in gaming in general. And it brought me back to like some really cool moments I remember having in like Far Cry, where, in my opinion, some of the best Far Cry moments I've had, especially in Far Cry 4, were just the random shit.
Right.
Like, not the missions I went on, even though a lot of them were really cool, but like just random stuff that would happen while playing Far Cry. Having that happen in Metal Gear was just, it was awesome. It was amazing, dude. Like, my goal now is to go back and actually capture a bear. I don't know how much I'm going to have to put into it. I probably shot that thing, I don't know, 3 times with the dart. I mean, I'm sure you probably need more tranks to take down a bear, but I only had about, I don't know, 15 meters between me and the bear before it just sprinted out, smoked me.
You're like, oh, good, I'm outside of terrorism.
Yeah. I was just staring it down, hoping that my next trigger pull was going to make it go to sleep, and it never happened. And it probably like fell asleep an hour after it ate my body. But yeah, it was pretty incredible.
I need to stop laughing. I'm going to wake my
wife
up.
So
that is,
there we have it, Pete.
That I mean, like there's this whole term like emergent gameplay, like shit that just happens out of nowhere, and it's like, oh yeah, whatever, like that'd be cool, but like I don't like catchphrases, but like fuck, if emergent gameplay means you're about to save a dude and a fucking bear kills you.
Yeah. Bear has no affiliation with anybody. He just wants to fuck you up because he's hungry.
Right. He's not on either team.
Just how bad that timing is. Like, I am so happy to get out of it because I just spent like 25 minutes sneaking around this base, finding this guy, and just finally going, fuck it, after I found some more soldiers and just trying to get the fuck out of there. To be killed by a bear literally 15 meters from my helicopter. Blaring Ride of the Valkyries out of it. It was like dead. See ya. And this is like the Great Outdoors bear. This is no like regular bear. This was like the bald bear from Great Outdoors because it was fucking giant.
We have to stop. I'm gonna shit myself on microphone, which I guess wouldn't be a big deal, but
so go buy Metal Gear if you haven't bought it, and Pete, go back and start playing more of it so you can have more awesome moments like this.
And you are Mark Foley.
I am Mark Foley. Rain City Gamers.
Rain City Gamers. I am Pete Dodd. At Pete Dodd, and I've been talking to a couple of people. We're actually going to try to expand our forums a little bit.
Sweet.
Try to get more like cooperative gaming happening there. But yeah. Thank you.
This has been fun.
Mark.
It's been a good podcast, my friend.
Right. Well, like, and I announced in places where people can read things, but not like actually on the podcast. Like, you are the podcast mate now. The podcast is
Thank
you and I.
Much. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to it. Many more like this, Pete.
Yes. Well, the plan was that I was going to be more sober going in, and I'm not tonight, but that's only because of the fact that like I am working the next like 4 or 5 days just going nuts, and we wanted to put one out. But yeah, so I will be more sober because that's been a complaint. If and when Rich Grisham ever wants to be on, he'll be on.
Sweet.
It'll be the three of us. He's
the
a great
more the
host.
merrier.
Yeah. So this is what the Doddcast is. We're also going to try to find a name that's not the Doddcast. Because
we can leave it up to the Twitter crowd. We'll see who maybe somebody wants to come up with a name.
Right. Yeah. Tweet
duo
names.
Here.
Tweet names at Pete Dodd or
at Rain City Gamers.
Yeah. And if you have a good name, fuck it. I don't give a shit
That's right.
where it comes from.
We'll post that shit.
I just don't want my name to be part of it. So, like, if your good name has my name in it, no, that's not what I want. So it's a pleasure. And
It was, Pete. Hey, I was going to tell you too. If you have any other questions about Metal Gear lore, let me know. I could probably answer some questions as well for you.
I got a guy.
You got a guy?
I got a guy.
All right, fair enough.
He's Asian also, so I'm just saying.
Now you're racist. See?
We
just came full circle.
Sometimes. All right.
I had to, Pete. I'm sorry. All right, buddy. It was fun. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Thanks for everybody listening.